Jason Rzucidlo reporting inside the Burton Manor in Livonia for the SAE Detroit section Nissan NV Meeting. Stay tuned for remarks from today's speakers right here on AmericaJR.com.
Nissan North America. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate it. My guess would be if you kept the social hour on this Thursday, you might set an all-time record for attendance for the SAE group. No, thank you for everybody. Truly honored to be part of your program here this evening. And as Sharon mentioned, I'd also like to thank all the sponsors that were listed on the screen. These events don't happen without your participation and support going forward here. For the students in the room, I come from a sales and marketing background. And really, because I'm probably one of the few people here, I'll give you a quick story on really the difference here. There's a sales and marketing guy and a pope standing at the gates of St. Peter. And St. Peter says, you know, we're kind of backed up on paperwork right now, so I'm going to give you guys each a hotel right across the street, and we'll get the paperwork and we'll get you handled. And so they take their key, and the Pope goes and he opens up his room, and it's a real small, little 8x8 room with a little wash basin, and you know, oh, it's a temporary thing. And so the sales and marketing guy goes and opens his room, and it's a suite, and there's a fireplace and a wet bar and that. And the guy, you know, I think we got the wrong rooms here. You know, I mean, the sales and marketing guy, and I mean the Pope, you know, and that. So they go back across the street to see St. Peter, and they go, you know, I think I don't want to accuse you of anything, but I think there's a little difference in what we're doing here. And St. Peter goes, oh no, we've had plenty of popes here, but you're our first sales and marketing. So some of you sitting around the students, you might have to explain that to them. But anyway, again, thank you for having us here. We've got two other speakers after me here that's going to give you some very good details and talk about our product here, the 2012 Nissan NV. We are extremely pleased to be in the market. This is a very, very difficult market for Nissan to jump into. We are obviously taking on the 800-pound gorillas here in the marketplace here in the U.S. I just kind of want to take you through some quick things here. 2011 actually marks Nissan's 75th anniversary in the commercial industry. Obviously not here in the U.S. and that, but so we do have quite a bit of experience here. We are one of the leading global players. Our commercial vehicles are sold in over 75% of the world markets, including most of the expanding markets. By the time we come to the U.S. and Canada, that number will go up to about 85 or 86% of the world's markets. Our 2010 sales exceeded 700,000 units. And I think the last dot point here is probably one of the best kept secrets that Nissan has, and that our commercial vehicles around the globe represented 20% of Nissan's global sales. And again, I know that's something that's hard that we really don't deal with here in the U.S. and that, but again, 1 out of 5 vehicles that Nissan sells is a commercial vehicle and that. So really it's kind of the last area that we were coming to. And this map kind of explains that here. You know, part of our American ego is, you know, everything starts here with us and then we kind of spread it around to the rest of the world. But in this case, Nissan, we're kind of last to the party here in the U.S. and Canada. And you can see these are long lists of vehicles that we sell around the world and do obviously very, very, very well for us here. And you can see, I mean, even in Japan, we have 14 different commercial vehicles that's there in various locations in that we meet. So obviously this is our first step in playing in this arena here in the United States and that, and we're really excited about the potential that we can bring. Here's some of the lineups and that. Some of the vehicles look similar. Obviously the ones that we have are in the upper left. Some of the smaller vehicles and some of the smaller, you know, roads and that are around the world. With that, some of the pickup trucks you can see there. In the pickups, we've actually got a small chassis cab truck, which is just unheard of really here in the United States and that. But really, it goes with what the industry and again, like I said, the various locations that they use around the world. This is a very confusing chart. I just wanted to do it. We've actually shared this with our dealers, and the reason we did was, again, when you think about the Nissan dealer here in the U.S., I think if we stopped anybody on the street, they might say Nissan Altima or a Nissan Versa or something like that. I mean, the first thing that doesn't come to mind is definitely not a commercial vehicle. So when we went around talking to our dealers, we showed them this slide and said, you know, class 1 through 8. I think everybody kind of understands that. You know, class 8's the big moving truck and the semi we see on the road, making the lovely potholes here in Detroit. So it's great. I'm back for that. But we looked at some of the various segments in that, and you can see on the left-hand side that the pickups and the SUVs, really only 15% are used for commercial purposes. I think a lot of people think that the pickup truck, I mean, we still have a lot of, you know, urban cowboys that are driving around that's really not used for a commercial purpose. But the vehicles down at the bottom of the page are 97% used commercially. So right now we're starting out in line number 3 there, concentrating on the commercial van industry. Again, I've said for many years that the commercial jigsaw puzzle is about 500 pieces, and some of the pieces are pretty big and some are kind of small in that. So this is really our first piece to that puzzle. Excuse me. So what are we doing? This is some of the segment data. Owners in the full-size van segment are some of the least satisfied. That's not our data. That's some of the research data that's out there in that. So some of the complaints are the design, the driver comfort. It's really been a tough segment. It hasn't really gone through a lot of the technological advances, you know, like a crossover segment or some of the other vehicles in that you may have worked on in that. So, you know, we really took an opportunity to take a clean sheet of paper approach as we started designing the vehicle. And again, from my other 2 colleagues that will talk tonight, they'll really get into a lot of the details. This is the full-size van segment. I would say if we went back further, again, it goes from 2007 to 2013 projected, that I think if you went back another 5 years, the full-size van segment here in the U.S. was 300,000, 325,000, about every year. It was almost like clockwork. And you know, obviously in 2008, when we really had the troubles, in 2009 we came to 158,000. I think kind of some volumes in that we really thought we'd never see. So as the projection comes now for 2010, year end up to 182, and you can kind of see where we've projected, where we think this segment's going to grow. Our timing is actually pretty good. You know, this is one of those cases where I'd say I'd rather be lucky than good, because if we were coming out with this van, you know, 12, 18 months ago, it would have been the absolute worst time for us to come in. So we think we've got an innovative product at the time that we think that we're very confident that the market and the industry are coming back. So what did we have to do? I mean, we just can't do things. Again, for my story earlier, you know, the sales and marketing guy said, well, let's just build vans. You know, hey, that's pretty easy. So we had to do some major surgery to our assembly plant down in Canton, Mississippi. We added over 14,000 square foot, 79,000 square feet of body shop. The paint shop was you know, almost 50,000 square feet. Again, vehicles like this, you know, when the first couple of prototypes started showing up at our tech center here in Farmington Hills, the people were like, wait a sec, we haven't seen, you know, look at the size of that. I mean, yes, it's a big vehicle. It's got big doors and big cargo capacity in that. So the plant had to be modified, as you can see, that some of the things that we had to discussion out there, and that we almost kind of call this a panel truck. That, you know, it's got that big inside, that paneling on the inside for protecting that cargo and that, but on the pickup truck. We've got an all-new chassis. I think one of the first questions we get a lot of times is, oh, you just put this on top of a Titan frame. And for the folks here from Tower, obviously you can tell in space that's definitely not the case that what we've done. Innovative interior space and user cargo-friendly area. I think one thing that stands out in this picture is that we've got a console. And this segment really not used to having a console in it. So we've got some very innovative ideas. Some of the models that we have, obviously a standard roof and a high roof. We've got a 1500, 2500, 3500 series HD. Everything for us is over 8,500 pounds for it. We've got a V6 and a V8 engine. Those engines today are already in a Nissan dealership, so it's nothing that our dealers really have to go through a lot of excessive training on for the powertrains that we offer, but 2 very good, proven workhorse powertrains for us. Comfortable cabin, again, here's the picture of that console. It's actually a lockable storage console in there. It's class exclusive. It can fit, I believe, 98% of the laptops that are produced in there. The writing tool, the lid actually slides forward here. Not that we would want anybody writing when they're driving, for those of you safety engineers here in the room, but our passenger seat folds flat, and then you have overhead storage, as we saw from one of the partners out in the lobby there. And then I'll also have some of the storage drawers outside. I mean, it's got cup holders and lunchbox holders and a whole lot of other creative things for it. I'm really proud of the engineering that went into this product and and the innovation. We got 234 cubic feet on a standard roof, 323 on a high roof. I think this guy in this picture here is probably the most photographed guy since probably the Obama election years. I've seen his picture. I feel like he's part of the family. His hat's on backwards, so he's probably a little younger than I am, but obviously with a capability of standing up to 6'3" in the back end and that, it's a big thing that we heard from a lot of the trade associations and the various vocations out there.